scrapping the two-child benefit limit would still leave 100,000 young Britons in poverty. We're going to read into this more from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an article from The Guardian with the headline, "The scrapping the two-child benefit limit would still leave 100,000 young Britons in poverty. The impact of abolishing poverty would still be dented unless overall cap is reformed," the figures show. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. So here's the 2 cents on this. Now, I obviously am very angry that Labour have not scrapped the two-child benefit limit as of right now. Many of us obviously feel that it needs to go because it is harming, it's keeping a lot of people down. And considering that we want to have a boom in population in terms of British population, we want to expand that. Obviously, you would need to get rid of this two-child benefit limit to ensure that more people have babies. Especially when people keep talking about wanting more British babies as well. You know, just to add that caveat in there as well. But according to YouGov polling, people still want the two-child benefit cap to stay in place. They still want it to be in place. They still want, I don't know, and it's all down to the manipulation of the mainstream media, opening up this mindset that people just simply scrounging, living on benefits and not making anything of themselves. This is the perception that has been made by certain TV programs and media outlets that have riled this into the minds of majority being the older voters, not so much younger, more older voters, shall we say. Older people within the British population. You can say senior if you really want to put that, but let's just say older voters. So there's that added. That's one of the reasons why Labour haven't scrapped it, or may scrap it, but may not scrap it. Another other reason is obviously this perception that Labour have had, and I've said this before about how they want to show that they are means tested, that they intend to look after the public finances, that they're not going to basically splash the cash sort of thing, which we kind of want them to do, but they're not going to. Being physically responsible is, I think, is a term that people like to use as well with this Labour government. Now, I did say when I last talked about this, I said that if we don't see this scrapped at the budget, like if there's not going to be policy in place, there will be a great deal of anger, because basically you're basically saying that you want children to remain in child poverty. Now, this headline here is saying, from The Guardian here, is saying that basically, it's not. It comes across as implying to me, the implementation that it implies to me is that scrapping it's not going to make a difference. We're still going to have lots of Britons still in poverty. And my response is, yes, there are still many young Britons in poverty, even with the scrapping of this two-child benefit. Yeah, because we're in a cost of living crisis, that people can't afford to pay their bills, that people are struggling, surviving to make it each goddamn day. Is it going to fix everything, scrapping the two-child benefit limit? No, of course it's not. But it's a step. It's a bloody start. It's a start in the right direction, which is something that we need. And people need a pick-me-up, something to get them off their feet. Can't keep relying on handouts from charities for everything to do them. The whole point of a government is to look after its people. And this Labour government needs to help people, needs to show what it means to be a proper government. Because the last 14 years, the Conservatives have done anything but be there for the people. They really, really have not been there for us. And Labour have a chance to show that. And I really hope they do. And it's too early to say that Labour are completely like the Conservatives. It's far too early to say that, guys. Far too early. I said after 100 days, then we can look at what they have done within the 100 days. You can see what's going to happen with this budget. That will speak a lot of volumes about them. But my oh my, like, yeah, it's not going to fix child poverty. You're absolutely right. And it needs to be solved. But scrapping the 2-child benefit limit would be a start. That is for sure. So let's read into this. So tens of thousands of children affected by the 2-child benefit limit may not be lifted out of poverty unless the overall cap is reformed, official figures show. Now, I'm all for reforming the benefit system, but into what exactly, I don't know. Introduced by the Conservatives, the 2-child limit stops households with a third or subsequent child born from the 6th of April 2017 receiving additional universal credit or child tax credit for those members of the family. Labour is under pressure to scrap the policy, a key clause of child poverty in larger families. Last month, it suspended the whip from 7 MPs who voted for the amendment to the King's speech backing its abolishment. But the figures supplied by the Department for Work and Pensions under the Freedom of Information Act showed that the impact of scrapping the 2-child limit would be dented unless the benefit cap introduced by the coalition government in 2013 to limit the amount of households can receive is also reformed. I do agree that it needs reforming of some sorts. Well, this is something I'm sure everybody agrees with, that the system is not fair anyway. As of April 2024, the most recent figures available, 27,000 households claiming universal credit, were hit both by the 2-child limit and the benefit cap, including the 100,000 children. The true figure of those affected by both policies is likely to be higher, as the DWP data excludes households that receive All-Star child tax credit and all households in Northern Ireland. The benefit cap receives an upper limit of the total benefits that working-age households can receive. The amounts varies by location and household, but particularly hits those living in areas with the high rents. Alistair Garnham, the Chief Executive of Child Poverty Action Group, has said that the 2-child limit and benefit cap are hugely harmful to children because they break the link between a family assessed near needs and their entitlements to support. Both policies force families to live on less than they need, and both are driving up child poverty. In keeping with the government's pledge to tackle child poverty, they must be scrapped in the upcoming budget. DWP figures shows that households affected by the 2-child limit and the benefit cap loses £273 a month on average due to the benefit cap. That's equivalent to around £3,276 a year. There are about 1,420 households that lose out on more than £500 a month. That's £6,000 a year. Professor Kitty Stewart of the London School of Economics has said, we've been really concerned about families affected by both these policies for 2 reasons. First, they lose out on a very substantial amount of money, which is causing real hardship. And second, although these are among those who are the most urgently in need, we won't see any changes at all. The 2-child limit is scrapped. She said that the current benefit cap would also catch some families for the first time if the 2-child limit was scrapped, denying them the full benefits from doing so. But by definition, benefit cap families are not working or working few hours. But we already have quite tough work conditionally requirements, and this tends to reflect considerably barriers to work, including young children or children with health difficulties or special educational needs. Over 2/3 of cap families are single parents, half with child and under 5. For me, it's those who are really like those single parents, those ones who are really struggling. You know, for me, it comes to those minds as well when I think about this cap. And I really generally believe that people who are in favour of keeping this policy, the only reason they're in favour of it is because they've watched too many TV shows and read too much newspapers on the very premise that it's bad for people, that helping out people is a bad thing, and it's very selfish. It's very selfish of people. While some people have responded to the policy or by moving into work, our research found it's actually pushed others further from the labour market. Our research found that there is no way for families to escape the cap by moving. They're already in the cheapest accommodation, offer overcrowded and poor quality. The Joseph Rowntree Foundation Chief Analyst Peter said that a generation of children is growing up hungry and cold, and that their parents are forced into the unthinkable decisions about whether to heat their homes or to put food on their table or warm clothes on their children's back. This is a disgrace in a country as wealthy as the UK. This is the thing that really people need to understand. We're supposed to be a wealthy nation, one of the most wealthiest nations on the planet, and we have a child poverty crisis in the UK. Is there anyone not seeing a problem here? It's not right. It's not right. A coherent child poverty strategy based on research and evidence is required to tackle the crisis facing those at the sharpest end of the UK social security system. As well as scrapping the 2-child limit, we need universal credit to be reformed as a benefit cap reform, or better still removed, so that the minimum level of support never falls below the amount required to afford essentials. Making these changes can lift hundreds of thousands of children out of poverty. Removing the 2-child limit will cost the government an estimated £2.5 billion this year, rising to £3.6 billion a year further down the line. The government's also launched a ministerial child poverty task force, which is due to publish a new child poverty strategy next spring. Among those stated objectives of the task force is supporting households to increase their income, including considerable social security reforms that support people into work and alleviate poverty. The Work and Pension Secretary Liz Kendall has said that child poverty is a scar on our society. It harms children's life chances and our country as a whole. That is why child poverty is our top priority for this government. We will drive action with a comprehensive strategy to drive down poverty and drive up opportunity, building a better future for us all. I am completely in favour, obviously, of this child poverty strategy that Labour are offering, that Labour are planning to do. I'm very much keen to that. But whether they will do, whether this strategy once it comes out, whether they will put into action, is another thing, you know. And the Prime Minister said, when he first took the steps, when it's a new Prime Minister, he said it would be action, not words, that will speak volumes about this government. That's what the main thing is here. And they are saying these things, but within several years' time, are we going to see a reduction in child poverty? Are we going to see more people into work? Are we going to see more people off universal credit? Are we going to see more people that need that care, get that care? It's a lot of questions. I think it's a lot of questions. I really hope that they do get on top of this, because regardless of your political differences, nobody wants to see children suffering. Nobody wants to see anyone in poverty. Everybody deserves a fair chance at life, and I really do hope that Labour does get a grip on this. But by continuously to hold on to the 2-child benefit cap, it is holding people back. Is it going to fix child poverty? No. But like I said, it is a start on it. But what do you guys think? What do you guys make of this story? What do you guys make of what the Joseph Rowntree Foundation has said? Is scrapping the 2-child benefit limit, do you agree with me? It's not going to end child poverty or any of the sorts, but do you agree with me it'll be a step in the right direction? Do you think Labour are going to introduce a strategy to get us to scrap the policy come the budget at the end of October? Let me know your thoughts and more down in the comment section below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button, we greatly appreciate it. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video. And subscribe, because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further and support me in the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.